Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, I want to go ahead and implement webhook events. So what we're going to do is open this up in GitHub Codespaces. I'm going to make sure that I'm in my, I'm trying to decide here because we have the OpenKing repo because I had to create it to end up using the API. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just thinking about this, I only need a token. So I'm going to go over to exam pro code because it doesn't really matter where I am then. Where I execute that, I can use that token anywhere. And we probably could have done that for the other one, but I'm going to go back to exam pro code repo. You go wherever yours is. You're going to not have the same issue as me because you're probably using a personal account. I'm going to go ahead and create a new code space. All right, and I think that I have the code for this already, possibly. Most courses, I just write this stuff out by hand, but I was sick, so I had all this time to prep everything ahead of time. And so we have something for Webhook. And I actually didn't run it, so I don't know if it works. So we're going to experience that together, try to get some troubleshooting going here, but we'll wait for this code space to be ready, okay? All right, so our code space is open. I'm going to go ahead and change the theme. We're going to change it to dark. I'm going to go over to GitHub Actions, into templates. I'm going to go ahead and copy the webhook, and we'll say allow. We'll bring this over into workflows, right-click, paste. And I want to get rid of these other three so I don't have any conflicts. I'll just delete those out. And we'll take a look at what we have for our code here. So we have repository dispatch types webhook, and then it will print out that event. So very straightforward. We'll go ahead and commit that. Add webhook. And we'll go and deploy that. So we'll sync those changes. There we go. And we'll make our way over to the Actions tab. We'll make sure that workflow appears. And so for us to, oh, it says add webhook. Why would it trigger if it's not on the push? Huh. That's interesting. I thought it would only happen if we have the webhook in, but it apparently is still triggering. I'm going to try, I'm just going to do a test here. I'm just curious what would happen if we put a README in here. Or like a minor change. So I'm just going to do this, put a space, right? Does this trigger? And we'll give this a refresh. Oh, sync the changes, okay. It triggered again. Why is it triggering? That's really unusual. So what I'm gonna do is I just wanna read up on this. Maybe it triggers on push as well. And we'll go here to repository dispatch over here. This event will only trigger a workflow run if the workflow file is on the default branch. You can use the GitHub API to trigger an event called repository dispatch, but it doesn't really make sense because we never specified. Well, I guess the question is like, is it on any webhook? Because if we say webhook, does that mean any kind of webhook will trigger this? Let me read that for a second, okay? So here it says, by default, all repo dispatch activity triggers to a workflow will run. Oh, so then I need a different type of name, but I specified webhook. So I would have thought that, okay, well, let's make a change then. And we'll just change this to whatever we want. So we'll just call this custom webhook. And so I'll save that. And so my question is, if I do this, custom webhook, will this prevent it from triggering? Because I think that's kind of important to know. And we'll give this a refresh here. And it still is triggering. I don't know if I trust it, so I'm going to give it a space here. And we'll do that again. And we'll sync the changes. And we'll check this again. What the heck? Okay, let me read this a bit more then. So I would say this is actually very confusing. I wouldn't expect this to trigger because it shouldn't. But if this is the case, I mean, the way we could prevent that is by using an if statement. So if we look up contexts, maybe we can use one of those for GitHub contexts. Because maybe we can get information about what the name of the webhook or type is here. So if I'm just checking here to see if there's a context specifically for the type that is being triggered. So maybe we can go into GitHub here. I'm just going to open this up in a new tab. And we have GitHub Actions. So the name of the action currently running. So there should be some way to do this. Activity types. Let me type in types here. So I'm not sure exactly how we get that. So I'm going to go ahead and ask ChatGPT, how do I get the GitHub Actions activity type via a context in GitHub workflows? And maybe that will narrow that down for us because I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I don't have them memorized. So we have GitHub event name might be the case. Let's take a look here and see what it gives us. So, maybe that might provide it. If we go back here, oh, we actually already have GitHub event name in here. Okay, great. So I guess the question is if we go into this and we take a look. Oh, has this been failing? Oh, this has been failing this entire time. Well, that maybe is the reason why it's not working, because if it's failing, then maybe this is not even detecting this at all. You have an error on line 14. I remember this happening to me before, and it was like so hard to resolve the no problem here. So what I'll do, that's what's happening. Oh, you know what it is? There's a colon missing here. Okay. So I think this probably does work how it's supposed to work. I think in like our first video, I had that issue or somewhere else, and I don't know. I had that problem, but I must have missed the colon. So say fix the syntax. And so it probably wasn't reading this file whatsoever. Okay, so we'll go ahead and sync this. And we'll go back, and what we're expecting is this not to trigger. And so I think, yeah, it is now not triggering. That's what we want to happen. Okay, great. So let's go take a look at how we can run this. So I'm going to go back to our README file. And I already have a curl set up. So I'm going to go down here, and I have to customize it. The first thing is the repo. So that is exam pro co. For yours, it's going to be different, right? And then this one is GitHub examples. Assuming I spelt that right, I'm using the lower h by accident. That's totally fine. We will swap that out. And so this is what it's supposed to be. What is missing here is the personal access token. We'll go over here. We'll generate a new token just for this use case. And we'll go down to settings and developer settings and personal access tokens and fine-grained access tokens. And I apparently have that from last time. We'll delete it. We'll make a new token, say Webhook custom, and this will expire 7 days. I'm just too tired to do anything about that. And I'm going to choose this repo. The problem is that this is in the exam pro co repo. That's why we use the other repo, because I can't access it this way. I can go get this token and see if this will work. Whoa, I don't want to delete that. That's my production one. I'm going to go ahead here and generate a new token with the classic. I just don't care. And I'm going to see if I can do that with workflows. I'm not sure if actions are in here at all. I think it's just workflows. And we'll see if this one works. Don't care what it's called. We'll go down below. Because I need something that's going to go across account, and I just need my life to be really easy here today. I mean, if you want to use the proper one, you definitely know how, because I showed you in the last video. But I'm going to go ahead and try this and see if that works. So we'll go ahead and copy this and paste this in. We'll hit enter. And there must be a syntax error here because it's hanging. See, it's doing that. So not sure what it is. I'm just going to cancel it out. You know what it is? I'm missing a double quotation here on the end. And we'll try this again. And I'm really hoping that we don't have to go back to our other repo. Okay, so maybe it worked. We'll go back over to here. Give us a refresh. Well, this failed a moment ago, so I'm not sure if this is related. Maybe it's still not working. There's still a syntax error saying. Okay, so we'll go back to here. And on line 16, it has a problem. Not sure what. I don't need to check out the repo. So what I'm going to do here is just take these two lines out. We'll just say, try again. I only want this. I don't want that. This has my token, and I don't want to commit that. And so we'll sync this here. I don't want to commit that. Are you not listening to me here today? I'm going to cut this out. I just don't want this to compromise my key. We'll discard this change here. Discard. Okay, because we can always grab it from here. I just want to see what changes it's going to sync. Please sync the changes. Thank you. I'm just worried that I might have committed my key, so I'm just going to double check here. Oh, we changed that back at least. And I mean, is that do split here? What? Is that what I just pushed? Oh no, try again is the real commit. There we go. And yeah, so that one's more simplified. Let's go take a look here in Actions. It's still failing. Okay, great. So what is our problem? Line 14, it's always line 14. Let's go back over to our repo here and we'll take a look again. And it has a problem with this line. I cannot tell what's wrong with it, but sometimes this happens. So I'm just going to take all of that out. Try, oh, you know what? It's not indented. 1, 2. Try again times 2. And we'll commit that. And we'll say yes. We'll go back. We'll go to Actions. And I'm hoping that it doesn't show up. I'm going to just wait a minute or two here and we'll just make sure that it absolutely isn't triggering, okay? Just give me a moment. All right, so I don't think it's triggering again. So that means maybe there's no syntax problem. And so what I'm going to do is go back over to here. We'll just get this out of here. And did we not commit something here? Did I? What? I thought I committed the change. All right. Make sure we commit this. Like, am I missing something here? Oh, outgoing. It hasn't even gone anywhere. Come on. Go, go. Leave. Oh, please tell me. Oh, no. No. And you know, the thing is, like, I could take this. I could bring this over to something like YAML linter. That's what they say. Take it over to YAML linter and try it again. And it will tell you whether there's a problem now. That's just junk. I almost like entered it into some kind of junk site. And we say format or validate. Oh, it actually is showing an error. Oh. Incomplete mapping pair. Okay, well, what if I do this? What if I do this? What? What if I do this? Why? Okay, whatever. If it fixes the syntax here, that's all I care about. But you've seen me do this multiple times, having an echo and not doing that. But it must be having a hard time. And it is not copying copy. Okay, that's a frozen file. We'll try this again. Paste. This commit should not trigger a deploy. You can see a lot of the struggle with GitHub Actions is just YAML, but that's not a bad thing. Like, it's so fast and responsive. And so I'm not seeing it triggered now. Excellent. Okay, great. So now what I want to happen is to take this, or just hit up, I guess, on my keyboard and try it again. I want to go back and see if it triggered. And it did. Excellent. So I was able to use the classic token, which was a lot easier to work with. Sorry, I know we're not supposed to use it, but I did. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. And go back here. And so that triggered, no problem. We'll go take a look at the response to dispatch. My other thought that I had was, like, if we had the GitHub event name and we printed it out. It didn't even print it out, just printed out GitHub event name. Oh no, it printed out here, never mind, right here. Okay, great. Maybe we could have used an if statement to limit it, but apparently we had that syntax error. But yeah, that one was a little bit trickier, but I guess we can call that done. So what I'll do is go over here and I'll stop my code spaces and I will see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.